What is going on, guys? It's Saturn Reaper here, and we are back again with some more Fortnite talk, guys. We are going to be talking about the competitive scene. I'm sorry, I'm in a bubbly mood at the moment because something just happened that was low-key really funny, not related to Fortnite. But anyways, so competitive Fortnite State of Development Part 2. I think we covered Part 1 potentially. No, Part 1 wasn't that important. Part 2 was important. I think there's 4 parts in this complete kind of competitive experience. So this is a very long post, and I think we should definitely run through all of it, kind of talk about different things here and there. And also we do have a follow-up post that's kind of like related to other people's community opinions. So pretty interesting stuff here. Let's get right into it. Like I said, it's a relatively long post. So official Fortnite competition. The vision of competition in Fortnite is to make competitive play broadly available to everyone. Pretty key part of the Fortnite competitive scene right now. This includes more game modes, playstyles, and formats in structured competition. This broadens the scope and definition of competitive Fortnite while also celebrating exceptional talent and a variety of gameplay skills across all of Fortnite's game modes. Lovely first statement there. Love that. Nothing much to take away from that. Now, tools and upcoming features, this is an important part to kind of focus on. So, competitive ecosystem. Our in-game tournament system allows us to bring prized competition to a large group of players, and we're eager to include more regions of the world. Winter Royale was operated through the in-game tournament system and featured more than 9,200,000 players, again, games dead, across North America and Europe, competing during the 2-day qualifiers. We just recently introduced parts of our new tournament backend system that will enable new features in the near future, such as in-game leaderboards, tournaments that take place across multiple knockout rounds, and more varied events to keep the play experience fresh and fun. So we just recently introduced parts of our new tournament backend system. So that means that it's still a work in progress, but they have it in the game, like they're working with it pretty much right now as we speak. So it's being utilized, and they're kind of working around it, kind of figuring out what they can do so far and kind of like pushing those limits of the servers and of the players that they have available. So anyways, next paragraph here. As part of our system upgrades, earning a pin or achieving a high placement during a qualification round can now advance you further in that tournament, or even unlock a new private tournament, or even unlock a new private tournament, which is only available to players who successfully manage to earn a pin. We'll be experimenting with a variety of approaches and tournament structures, utilizing these tools over the coming months to see which types of events provide the most fun and exciting experiences for players of all skill levels. So I'm really hoping that just means in general that they are actually trying to like mitigate a lot of just, average players getting into the competitive kind of scene with other pros, and I'm not trying to say that they need to mitigate it, but I think that currently, after watching a lot of pro play, like recently, like, even scrims and stuff like that, just around, like a lot recently, that's been a lot of my Fortnite time right now. It seems like they want more practice, better practice, and if they're not going to give them customs, then the best way to do that is to give them private lobbies where, obviously these pros who have been doing this for, months now, who have a lot of pins accumulated, put them in a lobby together, and that's literally the best practice that they could possibly get. Now, I know it kind of sucks to hold out people who may be up and coming and don't have as many pins, but also I think that it's important to give them the opportunity to kind of get that chance to maybe eventually get to that point, but also give the pros a chance to get really good practice in a really contained, group of people that's not like too difficult, but also not too bad. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm explaining that correctly, like I think there is a place for that to happen on a bigger scale with obviously not just 1 pin, but maybe 10 pins, and you get into a private tournament for people who have 10 pins. That means that there's people who are serious about the comp scene in those, lobbies, and that makes people a lot more happy. I think even Myth said recently, if he can get into a lobby, after maybe like pins kind of accumulate. So say you get 40 points to one tournament and you start the next lobby or next, pop-up cup with the same 40 points. So that you're getting into lobbies with people who had gotten 40 points the night before and who are actually serious about getting a lot of points and actually want to play, competitively. So different than just kind of hopping in lobbies, kind of different point numbers, values, even though they try and put you in the same groups. Anyways, I don't want to explain too much more. Continuing, throughout 2019, we plan to support as a number of high-quality third-party tournament organizers. So far this year, we've partnered with Australia Open, which I think already has happened, the ESL in Katowice, which is happening very soon, and GG Circuit and a few local event organizers. As we improve and polish our public tools, we look forward to working with more partners on all kinds of events. We hope that by empowering event organizers to host meaningful competitions throughout this year, we can provide more opportunities for Fortnite players to compete around the world. So again, just expanding more and more, which honestly, seeing the competitive scene from where it was to where it is now, it's been a lot of really good growth, and I think they're definitely stepping in the right direction. So, spectating broadcast, I think this is actually very interesting because it's something that could happen in just like a normal kind of solos and duos and squads, and not necessarily just the competitive scene. So, our core feature set for 2019's major events are in place. We now have the ability to broadcast from physical and online events, and our spectator client has in-match scoreboard screens and a variety of map views on which we will continue to iterate. A priority during the early part of this year will be integrating the spectator client with the new online tournament system. We believe it's important to have tools that help highlight the stories of standout players on their journey to the Fortnite World Cup. We'll continue to, which we kind of forgot about. I forgot the Fortnite World Cup was still a thing. So that's still happening. That's something that's like kind of flown under the radar since the last video we did about it, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. So definitely something to still look out for. We'll continue to improve our broadcast HUD and new capabilities with our stats analytics tools, and will help us tell a player's story across multiple matches and tournaments. On the broadcast HUD, we're taking a look at what information is most important and how to best represent the information for the many ways in which viewers watch competitive Fortnite. So here's just a quick example that they kind of give us. Let's say match 3 or 4, kind of how many players are left, a detailed look at the inventory of the player, and then obviously the player's name, and then a couple other things about them. So then also this big option where we have multiple players across the top here, obviously the number of matches, the number of players left, again that information, and then the mini map down here at the bottom. So again, not a bad layout, not too cluttered. It is actually, this could probably, I think they could get rid of this maybe and kind of rework that, make it a little bit smaller, maybe throw it up in this corner so all the information kind of stays on that right hand side of the screen and keep this kind of area clear. But definitely a good start there. And now anti-cheat. Now personally, console players, I don't think they run into as many cheaters, which could be a very, very terribly wrong statement. But personally, I've seen more cheaters on PC than I have on console, even in my 3,000, 4,000 plus matches. So our zero tolerance cheating policy remains in effect, and any player that is determined to be cheating will be removed and permanently banned from Fortnite. And then just kind of go on to say that, hey, we're kind of working on different systems, second layers of security to make sure that cheaters don't get into those high point lobbies. And it does happen here and there. I think I've seen it happen before, and those hackers are very hard to kill. They can even respawn in these pop-up cups, so it's kind of nutty to see. So definitely not something that they want in the future. And then stats, as previously mentioned, leaderboard capability is fast approaching and will be accessible for in-game tournaments. There will also be match summaries that display your placement performance compared to your elimination performance for any given tournament. Using stats to help inform you about your progress in competitive play can be a great tool to better your in-game performance, and we want to continue sufficing vital information. They're really hitting all the points about the player, about the in-game experience, and the out-of-game experience. It's a big post here. I like that a lot. For broadcast, accurate and timely stats directly impact our ability to deliver an enjoyable viewing experience for official competitions. Throughout much of the last year, we were not satisfied with how quickly we were able to relay vital information like overall standings or competitors' game-by-game performance. Yes, that was a big problem in the previous tournaments that they've hosted. It was an issue that it was difficult for the viewer to kind of understand where things were. Yeah, you could follow, the main players, and obviously people who were consistently winning, it was pretty clear that, oh, hey, you're in the leader, you're most likely in first place. But definitely want to understand where other people rank, especially since we're kind of limited to watching 1 or 2 or 3 teams at a time, and it's not done very well yet. We definitely want to have that option for the viewers to actually be able to see what is happening, even without having to see every single part of it. So, a long list of, where our elims are at, where our standings are at, stuff like that, available quickly and timely for them is going to be great for us. So, next thing here. Right now, we're trying to cut down the time needed to update broadcast graphics by improving the time it takes for real-time stats to deliver information to our broadcast team. So that's something that they're working on. We are also expanding on the types of stats we're tracking to help casters stay more informed and provide a better storytelling narrative throughout competitions. Casters will eventually be able to use real-time scoring so that they always know where a player stands in a competition, which is awesome. Love to see that. And then ranked, last thing on the bottom here. The in-game tournament system is an evolution of the traditional ranked system, striving to enhance the best elements of ranked play. Focused windows of competition allow us to better celebrate the performance of competitors, promote community activity around the events, and create the highest quality matches possible at all skill levels. We'll be exploring rotating or staggering tournament schedules in the future to include more players. So, awesome. Very, very detailed post there. I think I'm going to stop there. I was going to do a follow-up post, but maybe we'll talk about that in tomorrow's video, kind of detailing what the issue is with console players in the comp scene right now. now. I think there's a little bit of issue, a little bit of tension there, and I think that's something that we could talk about. Very, very interesting points that are brought up for both ends. So anyways, that is it, guys. That is the detailed post of the competitive update. So hope you guys enjoyed. Merch link is in the bio. Wow. Make sure to leave a like, sub up, share around, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.